Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so at the pool, have the Vostok Amphibia on today. Now, this Vostok Amphibia is known as a Neptune, and they're basically like the Cadillacs of the Amphibia line. And I love this watch. Now, I wouldn't say that I love all Vostoks, because the problem with Vostoks is it really depends on the particular example you get. You could get really lucky or you could get really unlucky, and I've heard horror stories about them speeding up like 5 minutes a day. I had one stop in the middle of the night and it really confused me. I thought I had like overslept and felt betrayed by that watch, and I never really wanted to wear it again. But then you come across a gem, and this was running fast. I regulated it one time and it just knocked it into amazing specs. And this is running probably about 5 seconds fast a week. Now, unlike a Rolex, what I've noticed about Vostoks is there's not a lot of consistency. Rolex really excels in consistency. If it's running, and I'm talking about a Rolex watch, +2 a day, after 7 days, it's going to be 14 seconds fast. After 4 weeks, it's going to be 28 seconds fast. It's just consistent. It doesn't matter how you position it, whether you're wearing it or it sits on the dresser at night. It just is consistent. Not so with this watch. So if I look at the daily change, sometimes it might be +5 seconds a day. Sometimes it might be +0 seconds. Sometimes it might be a little bit slow. But overall, it averages about +4 or 5 a week. That's amazing. And it's just sort of the luck of the draw, the luck of me regulating it. I wasn't using a time grapher when I regulated it. I just got lucky. And what do you do when you get lucky? Well, you just run with it. You enjoy it. Now, my issue with Vostok is that when this watch goes, it's not really going to be worth replacing. This is a sub $200 watch, and I'm going to feel, sad to see something happen to it. If I were to drop it, crack the crystal, if we were to have water breach today, it would hurt a little bit, because I'm kind of attached to this watch. I've been wearing it for weeks on end now, and it's just been treating me really well. And so it'll be a shame when that point comes and something happens. It just randomly speeds up, something goes haywire in the movement, or it breaks. But it's not one of those watches that I'm going to have serviced. It would take, minimum $300 to have it serviced here in Japan. And again, it's just not really worth it. So that's a shame, because you spend all this quality time with a watch and then something happens to it and you just have to throw it away. And it's almost like the relationship with the watch is over. And that's not the case with Rolex, right? With Rolex, you have it forever, and it's worth taking care of. To you, to anybody. I mean, it's got that intrinsic value to where if your Rolex breaks, there'll be people that will pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that broken Rolex because they see the intrinsic value in it. And a case could be made that this is perhaps a throwaway watch. It doesn't have to be, but unless you're a watchmaker, cost-wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So anyway, it's an interesting watch, and I love it because the way it keeps out water is amazing. In fact, it's a better design than Rolex, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll give you the real brief rundown. Basically, the water pressure as you go deeper squeezes the crystal down and squeezes the case back in. And it just, the deeper you go, the tighter it gets. And it's just an amazing design. And it's, of course, a GMT, and you can't separate the 24-hour hand and the local hour hand. So I kind of have to use it like a 16700, which I love, by the way. And so it kind of gives me that 16700 kind of thing. I have to use the bezel, and I've got it set to East Coast time in the States. It's got the white dial. It's got a 36912 dial. I feel like it's a little bit Explorer 2 Polar, checking on the babies, they're fine. And yeah, it's got that GMT function, that fourth hand. It's got the weird subdial. I would prefer to have the second hand full size, okay? When I'm doing push-ups and I'm trying to measure the push-ups on that little subdial, it could be a little much. And I love the four-hander, and this isn't really a four-hander, it's sort of a three-hander and the subdial. What else? It's got some Coke action going on that's very GMT Master 2. It's a thin bezel, it's aluminum. I love anodized aluminum bezel inserts. It's not a total copy of a Rolex bezel. It's very, very thin. So, you know, and it's got a unique look. It kind of, it's got Rolex elements, I feel, especially with that 24-hour hand, but it's not a copy. You could say it's got Rolex influences for sure, bicolored bezel, bicolored Coke bezel, but it looks completely different than a GMT. You've got no crown guards. It's got that interesting wobbly crown, which is another interesting thing about Vostoks, you know. It means that if I bash the crown right now, it's not going to mess up the movement. So it's an amazing watch. And I think the biggest problem with Vostoks probably is they've been stagnant for probably decades now. And it's like they really did all their research and development decades ago, and they did a great job. And what now, right? The movements are still sort of they're kind of okay. It's the weakest part is probably these in-house movements, and it would be great because case-wise, seal-wise, that's just amazing. I mean, again, it's more innovative than Rolex, but they've stagnated when it comes to the movement. And you know, Rolex is coming out with blue parachrome springs and Siloxy hairsprings, and they're probably not even Niverox quality hairsprings in this. So that's really their weakest point. And you know, I guess there's a reason it's a sub $200 watch. Anyway, I'm loving this watch. You can't do that with a Rolex, can you? You can, but they cost over $10,000. And I shower with this watch every day. It's fun. I've got soap scum all over it. I'm using this watch the way you use a tool watch, and that's why I got into watches in the first place. And when I got into watches and I thought Submariners could be had for $1,000, I thought I'd get a Submariner for like $1,000, and then come to find out that they started at $4,000. I was like, well, damn, they're really expensive, but still, I could get one, and it felt like a tool watch and a quality watch, and $4,000 is quite a hit, but not that big of a deal. But now they're going for, I'm talking about a no-date sub, they're going for about $10,000 now, and so you get water breach on that, your day is ruined. You get water breach in this, and you know, not that big of a deal. I'll make a video about it, be kind of fun, be kind of interesting, right? It'd be a bit of an adventure to handle this water breach, see what happens, see how it runs afterwards. It would be a nightmare with Rolex. So Rolex have become so expensive to me, and it really depends on the person where your cutoff point is. And for me, I guess it's about $5,000 was the perfect amount to where I could still treat it like a tool watch. It felt quality, it felt nice, but they've gone too high for me to swim with them comfortably, and honestly, to look at them like anything more than investments. And I don't look at them quite like just an investment, because they're beautiful, they're horologically significant, the history, heritage, and all that stuff there. But you know, I'm not going to be showering with any of my Rolexes, and I don't know if I'll come here. That's what these watches are for. I mean, this is a tool watch, right? This is a tool watch, and a lot more better of a tool watch than, say, a G-Shock, because this has a lot more soul. Let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.